First, sounds like my fault. First of all, good afternoon to everyone. I want to thank my colleagues who are here today. First of all, I'm Senator Bonasek, the Chair of Senate Racing and Wagering. Today will be the last Racing and Wagering Committee meeting of the session. I'm joined by my ranker, Senator Dabo, Senator Combry, Senator Marchione, and Senator Latimer. I thank you all for being here today. Our first bill is Senator Bonasek's bill, which is 5541B.
This bill is being reported to the floor. It amends the Racing, Pari-Mutuel Wagering and Breeding Law to authorize the New York Jockey Injury Compensation Fund, upon the approval of the Gaming Commission, to seek to self-insure for workers' compensation coverage and to expand its coverage mandate to include all licensed employees of licensed trainers.
Okay, we're joined by Senator Sanders with a spectacular summer suit.
Trying to keep up with the chair.
Okay. First of all, are there any questions about this particular bill? Hearing none, do I have a motion to move the bill? Senator Dabo, do I have a second? Senator Sanders, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Bill goes to the floor. Next bill is the Senate Bill 6793A, the fantasy sports legislation.
This bill is being reported to Finance. It amends the Racing, Pari-Mutuel Wagering and Breeding Law to authorize the conduct of interactive fantasy sports.
Do I have any questions about this bill?
I have some concerns about the bill. I don't want to. My intent is to hopefully see that there is an opportunity for fantasy sports to exist in the state. I understand the Attorney General's concerns. I just want to be clear about how the consumers will be protected on this thing. So I'm just going to be without rent for right now. But I definitely have friends and colleagues that are crazy about the opportunity to be involved with fantasy sports. They want to see it happen. I just did not have time to go through the bill.
Well, just let me react to some of your remarks. First of all, we believe that there is illegal activities going on now, and consumers are not protected. Under this particular legislation, there will be more strict monitoring, there'll be more consumer protections, and there will be money to pay for the monitoring and the consumer protections. Angie, do you want to add anything?
I think that that's
okay.
Perfect.
And it's very popular, this particular activity. And I think, I bounced the legislation off the Attorney General. And he made one comment and a helpful suggestion, and which we're going to put in with an amendment. Basically, we said that this activity would not be considered illegal gambling and not violate the Constitution. So I think the Attorney General would be satisfied with this legislation. I don't have a same-as bill yet with the Assembly, and basically the difference amounts to the fees. But we're not far apart. I think it's something that could be resolved quickly. And I think Assemblyman Pretlow, I think he intends to have this go through his Assembly Racing Committee on Thursday?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So, having said all of that, does anyone have any other questions about anything? Senator Latimer.
Mr. Chairman, just a comment. I'm going to be voting in the negative.
Okay.
One of my major entities in the city of Yonkers is Empire City Casino, Yonkers Raceway. They have expressed opposition to the bill. I've expressed to them the desire for them to reach out to you and to your people to discuss in the period of time between now, the Finance Committee and the floor, if this advantages what their concerns are. But for the moment, I'll be voting no, and perhaps there'll be some modification either between the two houses or on dialogue with them that may change their position?
Well, let me comment to that. First of all, fantasy sports has been in the state of New York for 10 years. None of the racinos have ever made a peep about concerns with fantasy sports. There is a full court press by all the racinos to try to tie fantasy sports into brick and mortar, like we want to do with online poker, but it really doesn't work. And I might as well get it out now. First of all, the legislation that we're doing says this is not illegal gambling. And we're concerned with a U.S. Attorney General, we're concerned with the Wire Act, and if we are going to put a daily sports operation, a fantasy sports, in a racino, which is a gambling operation, it could be a violation of betting on sports activity, and it would create serious problems. There are 33 vendors that are interested in fantasy sports, and so it's for those reasons, in compliance with the Wire Act and the other federal legislation.
PASPA and the UIGEA.
Yeah, UIGA. So there are legal concerns with this also. Just a power play by racinos, basically being greedy to try to get a piece of the action, but it doesn't work. And it doesn't fulfill the legal contracts, nor the marketing techniques that fantasy sports has with all of its other people. So for those reasons, and I know they're putting pressure on every elected official that has a racino in the state of New York. But I respect your position, but I just thought I would elaborate a little bit more.
I appreciate it. I'll convey that in my dialogue back to the...
Well, I'm sure the press will convey it. Did you want to say anything?
Yes, I too have certain concerns about taxes and things of that nature. However, the ranker has been very clear that he sees it a different way, and I tend to want to try to stay with the ranker.
Okay.
So at that point,
Yeah.
now that you called me out, Mr. Chair, first, this being our last committee meeting, I want to say thank you very much for all your efforts throughout the year. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Likewise.
On this. And I do think the Racing, Gaming, and Wagering Committee is going to be the committee to be a part of as we go forward in this uncharted territory. We're seeing some of it today. I am also without rec because I do think we need to do something here within the last 8 remaining or so days of session. I'm confident that we will iron out some differences, but I do think this is an untapped potential for our state that we're going to need to capitalize on. But that being said, we do have a number of questions and concerns. You know, the Democratic Conference will discuss it at some point, either today or tomorrow, hopefully. But I do look forward to working with you as we go through this very methodically, very cautiously with this fantasy sports issue.
Sure. Senator Boyle?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to thank you for your leadership on this issue, and the bottom line is following all the appropriate federal and state laws regarding fantasy sports. I will say that the day after the Attorney General made this move, I go to the same gym for 10 years. I walked in the next morning, and about a dozen guys who had never talked to me in my entire life in that gym came up to me that morning and said, "You've got to change this." It's very popular, and New Yorkers want it.
Yeah. Thank you, Senator Boyle. Anybody else have any comments or questions?
I just wanted to
Senator
say
Marshall.
that I'll be voting without rec. I am in kind of the same situation with Racino in my area with serious concerns, but I will be voting aye without rec.
Okay. Any other questions?
I just want you to know that the casino in our area, Clinton, hasn't raised any objections to it. So I appreciate your comments and your insight. Clearly, you've been working hard on this issue. So while I'm temporarily without rec, I think we'll come to a happy meeting at the end of it. And I just want to congratulate you on being such a deliberative and chair. I'm always making sure that the members have an opportunity to express themselves.
Well, always, that'll always be.
And the gentleman.
Does anyone else have any comments? Okay, let's call the vote. All those in favor? And
Aye.
Senator Boyle and myself, of course. Those without rec?
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 without rec. And those that are opposed, Senate 11, yeah. Okay, the bill now is referred to the Finance Committee. Okay, the last bill, the NYRE legislation, and that is Senate Bill 7918A.
This bill is being reported to the floor. It amends the racing pari-mutuel wagering and breeding law to provide for the transfer of the New York Racing Association from public to private control.
Do we have any comments, questions? Senator Marchione moves the bill. Do I have a second? By Senator Boyle. All those in favor? Anybody without rec? Without rec, okay, the 4. Anybody opposed? Nobody opposed? This bill goes to the Senate floor, and again, I want to thank our senators for being here today very much. It is now 20-1. This meeting is now adjourned for 2016.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.